Are you looking to play Call of Dragons in 2024 and wondering how this game plays, what this game is about? Well, look no further, because your city might look like this if you're just starting out, and you're probably wondering how the hell do you get your city to look like this? I'm going to explain everything in a build setup, a tech setup, and then the Legion and game fundamentals. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video on what is Call of Dragons and how to play, more importantly, Call of Dragons in 2024. Hello, smash a like, comment and subscribe for more daily videos of me, MrSneakyy, an official Call of Dragons content creator, and I'm trying my best today for you, yes, to explain how to play Call of Dragons in 2024. You might be a new player, you might be just started out, or you might be even just looking at the game, and what I'm going to do is break down nice and easy through timestamps all of the game. So if you're looking for a certain aspect, you can just go straight to that, watch that aspect, and I hope it helps you out. So with all that said, let's get into Call of Dragons, basically what is the game, what the basic understanding of the game is, and then we'll move into you and what you need to be doing in Call of Dragons. Hello, quick disclaimer before we get into today's video. I do want to just say I don't mention anything about, obviously, gathering resources and stuff like that, because I do imagine you understand you need to gather resources in order to build your buildings, right? So hopefully with all of that said, let's get into the video. I hope you enjoy it. It's a long one, I know, but it's all timestamped for you, and if you're a new player, I hope this helps you out. Let me know how I can do any better in the next iteration of the Ultimate Guide for Call of Dragons, maybe next year, in the comments below. Call of Dragons is a 4x city building strategy game, and it uses the Augustone building to display the seasonal gameplay and what a seasonal actual game is. So if we go into this little icon here, you can break down the entire season timeline through this nice little kind of achievement system that is based, as you can see, in real time. So right now, my alliance has been, completed its objective, and we're on 1 out of 1. We've got 3 days on this timer, and once it's completed, the next stage of the timeline will start, and this goes all the way across, as you can see, to the very end. And once this is finished, you basically will go through a season matchmaking area, and through that season matchmaking area, you will go into your next season. So a season itself has some gimmicks that some people do get kind of scared of when I mention them, but I'm telling you, don't be scared at all. So in Call of Dragons, compared to other games, you are able to reset your basically heroes. It sounds a bit crazy, I know, but you are going to be resetting those hero levels of your heroes. So what that means is, if we go into the hero section, any sort of investment you've done onto your heroes, this means your star levels or your skills, you will always keep from season to season. So you don't actually have to be scared of any of those investments. The only thing that is going to be on a soft reset is going to be your level. Your level, if you are above level 30, will be resetted all the way down, as you can imagine, to level 30, and everyone will be under the same hammer. But if you are below level 30, you will not suffer any consequences. You just have to basically level up your heroes until you hit the 30 threshold. By just clicking into the season overview, you can check out all of the different mechanics that is gonna be scrapped at the end of the season, and you'll notice it's a lot of the stuff that could be hoarded by players and even spenders that would have a tactical advantage. But in this game, as you'll see, when you go into the next season, they will lose a lot of their hoarded items if they have not been used. So that means any of their XP books, any of their CP items, as well as any of their elixir items, which helps in that free healing category of PvP. So I hope you've been able to keep track of that. Nice, short and sweet. So the basic premise is you're going to be playing in a season every single campaign, and this is basically a different style of game mode. So in the first ever season, you'll be in Tamaris, then you go into a second season, which is going to be Belleron, and then you might be coming back into season T1, which is Tamaris again. We personally don't know, as a recorder of this video, how the timeline is gonna be played out, but you can expect maybe a change in the future, so just be aware of that in case you are watching this in the future. So now you've got a good understanding of what basically Call of Dragons is all about. You are doing this open field 4x city building game that is all about obviously building up your power, gaining troops, and leveling up your heroes to fight against other players in each season to get different rewards and obviously different goodies for your account. We can just see here as a quick overview the differences in these seasons, again, just to understand for you guys when you're going into a brand new season what it's gonna be like, because again, new players watching this, you will start in this current map you can see, which is the season 1 Burning Stars and Dragon Calls. Once you've completed this season, which lasts around, I think, about 3 months, it could be a little bit less now, but it's around 58, 60 odd days, you're going to be going into the season 2. So season 2 will then be basically the same amount of days. However, you're on a different map, as you can see. And then after you've completed season 2, you'll be into season 2 plus. However, this, again, could subject to change. They might get rid of this Season 2 mode and just allow everyone else from now on to only enter the Season 2 Plus map instead. So just be aware of that, again, in case you're watching this ahead of time. But once you've completed this Season 2 journey, you will then, again, go through a seasonal reset and get into where I am currently in Season T1, Rage of Dragons. And each season, like I said, the whole purpose of this is again to fight against your opponents from starting in a old zone 1. You'll be capturing behemoths, which is the main kind of selling point of the game outside of the PvP, and then obviously using those behemoths that you could basically get and summon them within your alliance through basically the Beastmaster role you can see here through your officers. So it's a really cool little like instrumental gimmick that you kill these PvE contents and then you can actually use them in PvP with your alliance that you are running in. So that is basically what Call of Dragons is all about, right? I hope I've explained it really well. And now let's actually go into a bit of the guide on how to actually play Call of Dragons. So when it comes to Call of Dragons, your account is separated into different categories. We can see we've got building power, tech power, legion power, and hero power. So one thing you'll notice, your hero power, I will always say, this is going to go up and down all the time, because you got to imagine your heroes might be level 30 at the start of the season, you get all the way up to level 60 at the end of the season, and when you restart in the new season 2, you will have level 30 heroes again. So just remember that through the soft season reset that we've gone over already, right? So that's going to keep going up and down, but your actual power is always going to remain the same when it comes into the building, tech, and legion power. And this is all down to, again, building, tech, and legion. So what that means is, or what you need to be doing, is obviously building your empire or your kingdom here all the way up to the max level, right? But the way you do this is not the same to different games like Clash of Clans, where you are trying to max out every single building before you go up to the next stage. It's actually the complete opposite. What you want to be doing is doing the minimal requirements to level up a city hall. And I'm going to showcase that right about now. So you can see on a lower power account here, my Sacred Hall is at level 21. And in order for this to upgrade, what I need to do for my basic requirements here is go through the Elk Stable and through the wall, right? So what I need to actually do here is only do these 2 buildings. Don't do anything extra apart from what I am going to advise you afterwards. But these are the only 2 buildings we need to push through. So what it means is if we go to my Elk Stable, I can go onto it and obviously speed this thing up if I really had the speed ups to do this for you guys, just to showcase. And don't do this, by the way, for you. I'm just showcasing this for the video purposes. So don't speed through like I am right now. I'll explain when you want to speed through. But as you can see, if this building over the day that I have waited has obviously done its job, it will basically level up, and then I'll have to keep going and going until it's level 21, and then it'll be finished and hitting that requirement. The same with the wall. So if you go to the wall now, you'll notice the wall has a very dynamic path. It's very it's the same every single time. So just remember this every time you're going through a civic hall, because you need to upgrade your wall, which always requires one of your buildings of your healing huts to be upgraded, and then your mint. And you can see on my account here what we were talking about when it comes to level of building. So you can see I've got a level 20 mint here, but I need to obviously go to level 21. But if we look at here, I've only got a level 1 mint, and this one is a level 5, because this is the bare minimal that I've needed to do in order to obviously progress my refineries up, or whatever building I need to do at that time. So I hope that makes sense, right? Always do the minimal requirements when it comes to your building. And now let's move over to the tech tree, because the tech one is the simplest thing to understand, because if you understand what we've gone through here with the buildings, the tech's going to be just as easy. So when it comes to a research tech, you will only get access to one actual research tree at the time. And what I mean by that, you only be able to research one thing at a go, and you'll see one of yours is going to be locked. In order to quickly unlock this, and this is what I do recommend all players to first do, no matter what anyone tells you when it comes to this, is always come to your VIP store building and make sure your VIP level is level 8. As soon as this is level 8, and the faster this gets to level 8, you're going to get the most benefits, because you're going to get the second research queue, obviously speeding up that research, which is the hardest and longest thing to do. You get a 10% research speed, and on top of all of this, guys, you can actually work on legendary heroes. You can actually pick any of the legendary heroes you've actually unlocked through those gold key chests, and guess what? You can pick them. And even if you've unlocked a hero in the future, which I will showcase on my main account later on when it goes back down to the hero section, you will see you can pick even future heroes like Syndron and even Kanara, going into your Frigars, Bertrand, like you name it. Any generational 2 hero, you unlocked them, you can pick them here. So it's a really good tip to get, and getting level 8 is going to benefit you in the long run. So when it comes to the tech though, we're going to use that tech to our advantage, because you can see now we have 2 tech trees, and the one thing you're going to need to do is actually push towards your scholarship. The biggest thing that people kind of do is actually tunnel on their military tech, and don't get me wrong, you're going to need to do this, but if you follow my steps properly, you will honestly level up and catch up to everyone and be in a better position in the long run. Because what you're going to be doing, as you can see, is actually level up your economic tech tree first in order to get the architecture 1 maxed out and the scholarship 1 maxed out. As soon as you got these maxed out, you can then start punching through to unlock your tier 2 units. And then when you level up your building, you're going to be able to, guess what? You name it. You're going to punch through again all the way until you get to the scholarship 2, and you're going to max this out again until it won't allow it. And if you've noticed, there's a common theme on my actual branch here, as you can see, which is very similar of the buildings. And as you've noticed, and hopefully you've noticed if you're a smart person, you only want to do the minimal requirement. So I've actually done 8 out of 10, because obviously I need to increase my building speed, which is obviously something I'm going to be doing once I finished out scholarship 2. But I've gone 3 out of 10 because that's what is the minimal requirement. Same with the 4 out of 10 here. And I kind of did do a little bit more on the stamina and the breath control, because I do want that stamina. But as you can see, we've done the minimal requirements to get into this, and this is the kind of foundational thing you want to do. Max out scholarship 2, so it's 10 out of 10, and make sure your scholarship 1's maxed out, and architecture 2 maxed out, and architecture 1 maxed out, because that means you're saving as much speed ups as possible throughout your basically account. Because what you can also do, and I don't know if players know this, but with your School of Sages, every time you actually upgrade this building, you'll notice you do increase your research speed bonus. So it is very important to keep this leveled up with your research, and you'll be pumping out quickly compared to other players. So that basically summarizes what you need to be doing for the building and tech power. Now let's just go quickly and understand what troop power is, because obviously you can imagine it's all about the total amount of legions that you own. Obviously I don't have that many on this account. A lot of them have been wounded from being zeroed, which is fine. But what you can do in this early game, and what I always suggest in the early game, is actually just keep busting out. If you are you know training on some mages, just train tier 1 units, just ignore the tier 2 for now, and just focus on getting tier 3, because as soon as you lock the tier 3, all you can do is, as you can see here, basically make all your tier 1s turn into tier 3s through basically an upgrade mechanic. In order to do that, just to show you guys on screen, say we've just trained up these fresh brand new units and they're in my garrison now, so I can actually use them. All I need to do is make sure I select the tier 1. So make sure you can see that's tier 3, tier 2. My mouse is hiding it, or my shoulder is hiding it. Tier 1 is now selected, and you'll see the blue arrow popping up. All you gotta do is press that arrow and then convert them. Make sure you've got the right amount of resource. And guess what? We are now upgrading those tier 1s straight into tier 3 units. And it's very time efficient to do this for your account. And that's basically what troop power is. So by doing those 3 things there, hopefully you followed through, you are gonna be able to increase your power very easily through the building, tech, and legions. So now let's go into the final bit that you will obviously need to know, which is all about your heroes and how you can power up your heroes through artifacts, as well as skilling them up correctly, and the new mechanic, which is pets. Heroes. And heroes are the one thing I will always say I see a lot of new players always messing up on. So please pay attention to this section the most, because you're going to learn the most out of it, and you're not going to mess up your account and not cause yourself to start again over because of a silly mistake. So when it comes to heroes in the game, one thing you need to understand is they are split up into different categories, right? We have mage heroes, we have archer heroes, we have infantry heroes, and we have cavalry based heroes. You know this from simply looking at the 3 different types of talents. As you can see, these talents are basically going to be showcased down in the talent tree later. Don't worry, I'm not going to overblow your mind. But always know this talent is going to always showcase that this commander excels in this in particular unit. There is some case scenarios like in this, as you can see, that has an overall rating, meaning she excels at all unit types. But in general cases, most heroes have a specific unit type. So you can see Goresh needs infantry, Kanara needs marksman. We can go and look at Fear, which is overall. We can look at Atheist, which is magic. We can look at Bertrand, which is magic, and even Valen, again, magic, right? So we can see what the heroes are able to do, right? And by knowing that, what you basically can do is train the right troop type, right? So that is how you can kind of tailor what troops you need in your account. So if you always wondered what troops I need to be training, should I train more mages or more archers? To be honest, what I always recommend players is when you've been pulling, say like 50 to 100 plus keys and you've got a bunch of heroes at your disposal, you'll notice you'll have a certain amount of purple heroes that are more leveled up than your others. And I would definitely focus on that type of unit more than anything else, because you'll notice, obviously, there's a bunch of stuff that you can do in the game, and honestly, you'll get to a point where all of your epic heroes will be maxed out and you're more focused on legendary based heroes. So don't stress out if you're, beginning season 1, your epic heroes aren't great. Trust me, by your 2nd or 3rd season, you're going to have either half or all of the roster completed, depending on how active you are as a player, right? So what we need to do now is go through the hero basics, then we can go forward and teach you a little bit more about Call of Dragons and what you need to be doing to excel at this game. So one basic fundamental that I see most players always mess up on is skill upgrading a hero. And what I mean by that is you always need to understand a hero in this game, all of their power and damage always comes from this first active skill. It's almost like their ultimate ability in the game. And when they cast this after hitting the 1000 rage cost requirement, you're able to obviously fire this thing out. And you should see a nice little clip of obviously some PvP or just some skills being used so you can understand, right? And the beautiful thing about this is the game always allows you to max this skill first. And that is what I'm trying to teach you guys now. What you need to do whenever you unlock a hero, I know it's tempting when you get the ability to increase the star level of that hero, you need to make sure the first skill is always level 5. Please make that skill level 5 and you will not screw over your account. You'll see all of my heroes, no matter what, are always 5-1-1-1 because the third skills here, or these 3 different skills, as you'll notice, are passive based buffs, meaning you just always have these on and they just give you generally extra stats in the combat, and they're not going to influence too much compared to someone that has a maxed out skill, right? So just make sure you max out your skill first and then you upgrade your hero. And in order to do that, and if you want to make sure you're safe, it's actually really easy. Don't stress out. All you've got to do is keep playing and keep leveling up your hero, but ignore the stars. Because as you can see, when you put 2 stars on your hero, you will unlock 2 of his skills. And when you start to upgrade your hero, and you'll read at the very bottom of the screen, this is random. So we do not want it to be placed randomly on our hero. Currently, there is supposed to be a skill lock feature coming to the game. So maybe in the future, as of this video, there may be skill lock, added, and if there is, obviously you can ignore this section of the video. But as of now, if you still don't have skill lock, you need to remember this, because if I, for example, had 20 extra sculptures for my Theodore and I press this upgrade button right now, it would roll either into Traitor's Ambition, into Royal Rate, or into Coup de Grace, meaning I have basically 3 different chances, a 33% chance of randomly upgrading any of these skills. And I might potentially have needed to max out this second skill first. So it's very important you do this correctly. And like I said, for certain heroes, you can do this really, really well. One tip I will give all new players, if you're still watching for this segment now, is Valen. Valen's a really good hero that if you max out the first skill and then actually only make him 2 stars, you can max out the second skill, which is a really powerful skill too. And then if you make him 3 stars, you'll see you'll unlock the deputy slot here and get access to this next area where we're getting the bonus third skill, and you can make a hero 5-5-5-1 and have full control really easily by doing this, and obviously allow your Valen at the end, obviously the last bit of hard grind, get this last skill upgraded and eventually awaken, right? So nice and simple, right? Hopefully you've tracked on what you need to do when it comes to your heroes. So how can you make your heroes stronger? You're probably asking. You can equip, as you can see in the top left corner, an artifact, or you can equip a pet as well to your march. And the thing is, what a lot of players do kind of get mixed up with is when we look at a march on the open field. So this march we've got here is a Madeline and Garwood march. And if we go and bring it back in and summon it, we can showcase what is actually happening for this legion. Because a legion is based on 2 heroes, as you can see. And a lot of players believe the deputy heroes' talents and all these other stats matter, which they don't. I'm here to get rid of that confusion for you and obviously back it up with factual evidence on screen, right? So your primary hero is always displayed on the left side. You know this because the artifact and the pet is displayed. So what you can do is have your primary hero with all of their skills, their artifact, their pet, and as we click on this little question mark, you'll read also the commander's talents. So that means when we go into our hero and we've been leveling up our hero through killing Darklings, we will be getting these talents, right? And all of these talent page points will be contributed to that Legion through the primary commander only. As well, just to add it in for anyone who's wondering and probably asks the question in the comments, the star rankings do matter on the primary commander, and with the deputy commander now, the star rating does matter. What that means is if you have a deputy hero at 5 stars, you will get that 5% attack resistance added on to your Legion. Also, you will get all of the skills tied to that hero, obviously onto your Legion, but you will not get any bonuses from your talents. You will not get any bonuses from the artifact or pet equipped to the deputy in case you have one, right? And again, we can showcase this if we have this screen up. You can see even there's no artifact or pet here being shown for the guard, so you know you're not getting any benefits from it. And if we just look at the very top here, you can see again all of the information I've just said on screen. So this is how the legions work in Call of Dragons. If you're wondering how the buffs are set out, this is how it's worked out, right? Now, when it comes to XP, you can see the commanders and deputies will gain the same amount of XP. So when it comes to actually leveling up these heroes, what you'll be doing is obviously killing this one Darkling and getting the 15,100 XP. If you add a second match or a third match to the game, right, that means it splits it up so that 2 matches basically will get 7,550 XP each, and that's between both of those commanders in the pairings, right? So just remember that when it comes to leveling. So we've now gone over the basics of the game, which is the how to power up through your building, your tech, your heroes, and what a legion is. So now I'm going to just finish up this ultimate guide in how to play Call of Dragons with obviously showcasing how to unlock heroes, how to unlock artifacts, how to get pets, and obviously leveling up a hero and the other little nitty gritty bits you need to know in order to excel in Call of Dragons. So when it comes to the gameplay side now, once you've understood all, hopefully, of the beginning on how to gain power and basically grow your account and become stronger in Call of Dragons all the time, I'm going to just showcase the whole purpose of leveling your heroes and why it is important, because it's going to be impactful on a couple of seasonal types of, game modes in the game. So this is going to be incorporating policies and Dragontrials while you are playing the game. So when you very start out and you might be a very, fresh new player, one thing I'm going to advise, obviously work on your buildings, work on that tech. Just get that out of the way really, really quickly as fast as possible. Because the sooner you get that done, you will get hero XP benefits and stuff like that. That's obviously going to make you level up quicker than other players. So once you've got to a point where you can't physically do anything else and you are basically stuck and the only thing you can do now is kill stuff, that's what you're going to be doing. You're going to basically summon, as you can imagine, a level 1 unit, unfortunately for you guys, obviously a level 1, and then you'll be working your way up the ladder all the way up into the level 42, level 43, all the way whatever season maximum you can get to. That's what you're going to be working on, right? And the purpose of doing this is, as you can imagine, by killing these Darklings, you're going to be getting a couple of things, right? We're going to get some resources here for our artifacts. We're going to be getting XP for our heroes. And then we're going to be getting this new mechanic I'm going to introduce, which is Prestige. And Prestige is part of the seasonal mechanic, if you remember in the season overview, that resets at the beginning of each season. And the season policy is always put into your little notice board, right? So if you're wondering, like, why do I not have my, policies yet? You might have not hit this certain city hall requirement in order to do this. So don't fret. I promise you will unlock your policies. It just takes maybe about, I think, level 7 to 9, and you get your policies all there. They'll just pop up randomly and you'll be like, oh, there they are, right? So when it comes to the policies, all you gotta do is hit the notice board. Like I said, you'll see this little arrow, and this is, or should I say a little arrow, we're gonna showcase it, but you'll have this little button on the side, and this is your policies tree basically, and this is what you're going to be leveling up at the beginning of the season, and at the end of the season this will just reset and you go again. Some people kind of compare it to like crystal tech in the game of Rise of Kingdoms. If you played that game, it might be a little bit more easy to understand, but this is not really a pay to win policy tree or crystal tech tree, right? The whole purpose of this is actually just to help you get through the content. So you can see targeted tactics gives you peacekeeping damage. We can get more stamina so we can fight, and everyone is able to do this. We can get even more hero XP bonus and prestige gained, so we can obviously get more prestige for our policy tree. And you can see this goes all the way across, and if you want a guide on what to do with the policies, I have a full video on that, so you can check that video out, and hopefully you will learn what to do with the policies in depth, because I don't want to make this video too long, right? So by grinding your policies, you're going to get that extra damage basically to keep fighting and keep killing stuff within the season. Because as you can imagine, the season is going to progress where you start from this zone 1 zone, and you're going to go into like a zone 2 zone, and then into this zone 3 area where obviously it's getting harder and harder. So you need to obviously power up your legions, right? So I hope that all makes sense to you guys right there. And now let's go into obviously powering up your legions even further with the artifacts and pets, how to obtain them, because that is the last basic gimmick of the whole package. And with all of that, you should know how to play Call of Dragons. I'm not gonna lie. Artifacts. So artifacts are basically an additional ability and stat you can just add to your march. And the beautiful thing about this is there's only 1 artifact allowed per march. So you don't have to worry about trying to get like 6 of these things and getting them, you know, all equipped around a hero. You only need 1. And the beautiful thing is, it's like I say, it's an ability. So right now you can see I've got an artifact here called Shadow Blades. It's maxed out, so you can see I'm getting a bunch of stats here on the right side. And if I could, you'll see in the details, I have a level 4 Shadow Blade. So that's based on the amount of damage I'm going to be dealing. And you can see if I was able to, I could upgrade this with 1 more if I had it, and this will go to 3600 damage, right? Nice and simple. And the cool thing is you can equip all of these artifacts like you see on your marches, and they are on the right side of the screen here. On PC, they have hotkeys, as you can see, and even you can do this on mobile and PC. You can go to your artifact tab area located in your items box, and you can actually go to the details and actually auto cast and choose if you want any of them on or off. So for argument's sake, just to showcase this, if I put Tear of Arbon on autocast, you'll know if this is online, because if we look very carefully at my Tear of Arbon now has that little circular animation showcasing his autocast active. And what that will look like if we go and actually trigger a fight again, so you guys can see what the fight looks like, you're going to be able to see this charge up over time, and then it's going to do it on its own. Compared to any of these other artifacts now that are charged up, they require me to press them, right? But as you can see, I'm not pressing anything. My hands are up right now, and it's activated the healing artifact. So if I press now my artifact with my mouse key, I could, or even with a click of my mouse, I'm able to trigger it, right? Nice and simple. On mobile as well as PC, if you do press the key, you can just get an autocast trigger like that. And if you press the key again without moving the mouse, it will actually autocast it on a target, as you just noticed. But I would recommend on PC to aim. It's nice and easy to aim. You just need to move around. Same with on mobile. You can actually just move your finger around and aim any of the actual artifacts in the game, right? So PvP is pretty simple and gameplay is simple like that. As you can see, it is an open field based game, so everything is free moving. You can aim it anywhere and they will move there, like an RTS game. And if you've noticed in that actual fight, as on the Darklings, we do get ranged units through the magic units and the archers in the game. So I hope that all makes sense to you. So let's go into basically the final parts, like I say, which is now the pet section and how to obtain artifacts for your account. So the tavern is one of the first ways you can obviously get artifacts, and it's where you get introduced to your heroes. You should remember this through your tutorial. You just press the middle one here and you're going to be able to get some artifact keys, and it does show you the probability at the top and what you're able to unlock in this table. There is certain events that do roll around, like the Forge of Light event that has specific artifacts in, and you can watch one of my videos on that if you want, and you'll see what it's like. And you can basically spin for, like I say, a specific artifact and try to unlock it for your account. There's other ones as well, like Riches of Forest, which is a little bit more costly on the gems, so I don't recommend doing that as of now. But that is another way you can obtain artifacts. A free-to-play way you can get artifacts, and I do recommend doing this, is actually the dark chests. So what you will be doing when you're killing your Darklings over time, and as you've noticed, I've killed some Darklings, a little pop-up will come up on my little notifications on the left, and you will unlock a little dark chest key, and you just claim it. As you can see, I'm on 3 out of 5, and as you can imagine, 5 being the maximum, you can basically go to these chests located around the map, and you can unlock actually legendary artifacts and obviously some epic ones. Different chests do offer different loot tables, so just be remember of that when you look around, and you can use the search function to find specific ones. So if we want an epic one, we can just select it, hit search, and click it, and we can see the difference in the loot table. And again, if we go to advanced, hit search, again we can see this, and you'll notice it's a lot easier to do the green ones than it is to do the purple ones. Maybe if you're a T5 player in the early game, you might be able to cheese these, but normally you want to bring a couple of players around, you know, 10-15 marchers, and just blitz it all. And the cool thing is with these dark chests, it's an alliance based chest, so once you've done this for your alliance, guess what? Everyone in your alliance is going to be able to actually, you know, take this and gain a benefit out of it, which is beautiful in the game, right? Also, like I say, you're able to unlock heroes in different events. One of them is the Strongest Lord, just to showcase this. I wouldn't recommend this for free-to-play players unless you're saving up for a long time to purposely go for it. But the Strongest Lord allows players in the same server, as you can see, to go through different rankings here and basically compete to get the unlock plus extra rewards on your placement for a specified hero. You can also do a more friendly version. This is the one we do recommend for free-to-play players, and this is the lucky spin. You can spin a wheel here and basically try to unlock a hero, and if you do, it's great obviously for you, because then you can start working on them. But the beautiful thing about the lucky spin that I'm going to give as a tip and trick in this section is, even if you don't want to run this wheel, you can actually spend your gems still on the Goblin Market vouchers. These do not reset. These do not leave. You keep these forever because it's an actual specified purchase, and you're able to actually keep these, meaning you can stack up to over 100 to 500 of these depending on how much you get, and you can actually spin it very, very hard on a specific wheel, because it's generally best to spin these wheels on a level 10 or a level 100 reward, meaning spin it 100 times or spin it 10 times. Nice and simple, right? So that's pretty much most of the basics and now gimmicks of that stuff. I'm now going to go into Dragontrials and finish up any parts I might have missed out on the video in this last looser section of the Ultimate Guide for Call of Dragons. So you're going to get access to the campaign mode very early on, which is the Dragontrials. And I do recommend, once you've obviously done your buildings, done your tech, done all that type of stuff, and you've leveled up your heroes just even a little bit to like level 5 to level 10, guess what? jump into the Dragontrials, because this is going to be honestly your blessing in disguise. It's going to allow you to actually keep up and actually beat other players that are not doing this as of now. What you need to do is basically just complete the missions. It's nice and simple. There's different missions in the Dragontrials because they've revamped it to make it more fun. You can go against different types of behemoth. You can go against just normal types of like PvE content. There's even PvPs where you see 5v5 fights and you can try and test out your skills and stuff. So they have changed this. But every single time, if you've noticed, when you complete one of these trials, you're gonna get a star, and every star you get, 1, 2, or 3, you're gonna get an increase of hero XP and trial coins. And what you're gonna be doing with that, as you can see, over time, when you're not logged in, this is like an AFK reward. It's gonna grant you XP that you can claim, and just like that, upgrade your heroes in Call of Dragons. With your Dragon Trial coins, what you earn over, obviously, the same route, you will spend them in this same area. You just press the start area, and you can get a bunch of different stuff in here, including resources, speed ups, extra sculptures for certain heroes, and obviously stars. But I would honestly recommend working on Indis. Some people might frown upon me saying this in this part of the video, but honestly, in the early game, I know it's so tempted to do the epic sculptures just to get them out of the way. But I promise you, if you just save and keep doing the gold keys, you will, by time the end of Season 2 and Season 3, you're definitely gonna have all of your epic heroes maxed out. They are so fast to come by, so you don't have to worry about them. So I would definitely focus on maxing out Indis. She's a free legendary hero and very, very underrated, honestly, in Call of Dragons. And the beautiful thing is, once you've maxed out this Indis, you'd have noticed, you'd have maxed out Indis, you'd have maxed out all the epic heroes in the game, and obviously all the blue heroes in the game. So now in this shop, all you're going to be buying is the stars, resources, and speed ups, which is obviously more beneficial to your account because it means you can grow faster over a longer period of time. So that is the Dragontrials. You're definitely going to be needing this. Just do it, guys. And the beautiful thing about the Dragontrials, just before you guys worry, it does not reset. What happens is you might complete the first 60 stages or like 80 stages, and then in the next season you'll get another set of stages. They might add on another 40 stages to complete those ones, and you're done. And again, next season they might add on some extra ones. But every time you do this, they're giving you more and more passive XP per hour, which is so good, as you can imagine, for your account. So I hope that's made it nice and fine for you guys. I'm going to go over some other extra bits right now, like seasonal talents. You're going to get access to this in Season T1. I do have a guide for this. All you're going to need to know about this mechanic is you're going to go through different quests, again, throughout of your whole lifespan in the season. I'm a T4 player as of this recording, and you can see I'm able to get even the top 100. How? Just be prepared, get on early, and as soon as the August Stone changes and allows this to be tracked, you're able to actually get there. So if you are one of the first people ever to actually finish a fight, you will be in the rank 1 spot technically, right? So it's easy to actually get this if you go for it. If you miss the first day and you're in the second or third day, it is a bit more of a grind, I will admit, but you are able to get all of those, right? The only one I'm leaving out, as you can see, is the top 20. And with those season talent quests though, you spend this currency in basically this talent tree. And again, I've got guides for this. If you want to check those guides out, check them out, and this basically just helps you in that current season. So I believe I've answered, hopefully giving you guys everything you're going to need to know in order to play Call of Dragons. You're going to be able to build up your city now from the ground up. You're going to build up your tech. You're going to be able to build up your heroes with your artifacts. You know what a legion is. You know how a season works, and the season reset shouldn't scare you guys anymore. And even gone into the season talents. The last thing I do need to mention before we do finish up is pets. And they're really simple. It's just a new mechanic in the game. Certain pets, again, are added for certain marches. And if you want to know what marches or what pets go with, you know, certain things, the game does give you that information. If you don't want to watch a YouTube guide, the way to do this, you can click on any of the pets. So like a Sapphire Drake, if we hit the skills here and hit the strategy button, you can see this is what the war pet is and what it wants to be used for and what it recommends, right? So everything you need to know is right there for you guys. You basically go out on the map to find these creatures. You just look for any of the paws, like this ice lizard right now. You would click on the capture button, not the attack button, and when you capture this pet, it will pop up into this little area and you can just check if it's a good pet or not. All I recommend, guys, is do not invest into any pets until you get a 1-star skill. So as you can see, this is a skill with a little 1-star talent. I've got all of this again in an ultimate pet guide. You can check all that information out. But basically, grind your pets, capture some pets, kind of like Pokemon, and you slap those onto your legions and you're good as gold. So hopefully now I've gone over everything you need to, you know, actually play Call of Dragons. You know how to do all of the building, how to power up, how to obviously unlock heroes and artifacts and pets. The only thing I'm going to explain to finish out on this video and basically to finish up the, you know, the whole guide is basically PvP. So you'll notice obviously anyone in your alliance, and to join an alliance you only need to be, I think, City Hall level 3 now. You just go into this alliance section, press join, and you can find an alliance to join. I will showcase somewhere at the end, maybe during the, you know, ending, how to teleport around, because some people might want to know that. But you just join your alliance. Once you join an alliance, alliances basically help you build. So you can see here I have asked people to help me build this tech, and they've reduced it by 4 hours worth of time. So it's so important to do that for your account. So getting into an alliance, using an alliance help center is very, very key for you, right? And if you want to know any like secret tips and tricks to get even more advantages, don't worry, I've got one of those videos coming out, so keep an eye out for all the tips and tricks to benefit your account and honestly get the maximum efficiency you can do when it comes to it, right? So that's pretty much it. All you need to know to play Call of Dragons, honestly. And after all of that, the only thing you might be screaming is healing. Guys, just all you need to know is free heal them as most as you can. I will make a healing guide specifically. I just don't want this part to go too long. So just work on healing when you can heal. You basically use healing when you are in PvP. Elixir healing is all free. Resource healing is basically, obviously, costs your resources. And the cool thing is when you are in PvP, you'll notice you earn a new mechanic called merits. Merits are basically used in the alliance section also, and you're going to be able to use these to buy, as you can see, speed ups, elixirs, and all sorts of stuff for your accounts, even pet skills, to make you more stronger. If you wonder what an elixir is, like I've showcased before, elixir allows you to just free heal instantly. So I can instantly heal 50,000 troops by just pressing this button. It will just go into the hospital, you know, like top button here where it says 70k basically. Like, you're able to just boom 50k. So that's pretty much it. I don't want to go too crazy. If you want me to explain healing individually, I will. And if you've made any, you know, if I've missed anything out, put a comment below and I will make an individual guide on it and add it on for you. So I hope this is it. I've honestly done this video about 10 times, and every single time I do it, I think of something new and a better way of framing this video up. So hopefully this is it. So everything you need to know to play Call of Dragons, that is it. There's how the seasons work, how your account should work, how you progress in the game, and basically your ambition to basically start a season with your alliance, fight through all the behemoths, get those rewards, and fight again next season against some new enemies. And that's it. That's Call of Dragons in a nutshell, and the ultimate guide to Call of Dragons in 2024. So if you enjoyed it, smash a like, comment, and subscribe. And until the next video, stay safe, stay sneaky. Peace out.